Good morning, everyone. You're very welcome to this IACD, International Association of Community Development Researchers Forum. We hold these quarterly, as you know, and I'd just like to introduce my colleagues, Anna Clark, Sarah Banks and Jessica from IACD Global. Anna is the Strategic Director of IACD, and the group of us here are the co-organisers of these quarterly research meetings. It's great to see so many of you here that have been able to come to a number of the meetings, and we're delighted today to introduce our community development colleagues from Alice Springs in Australia, and they're from the WET, which is the Warlpiri. Hopefully I've got that pronunciation right, Jamie and colleagues. Community Development and Land Commission Initiative. And today they're going to be presenting on a community development approach to research in their area. And we're delighted that they've been able to join us, and they will be able to introduce themselves and their project and their research much better than I have. So I'll hand over now to Jamie Gorman, community development worker and monitoring, evaluation and learning coordinator in this organisation. So Jamie, you're very welcome. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Karen. So we're going to take some turns to share, and I'll hand you over to my colleague Linda Napajari, who is going to begin with acknowledgement of country.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Glenda Napajari, and today I'm going to do the acknowledgement of country. I'm going to do it in my language, Warlpiri, and then in English. Yitaki-maninjaku, warririnin-jaku, payirninjaku, manu, pina-jarrinjaku, YWPP. That's the name of a project. Acknowledgement of country. Nganimbalo kanalo nyara warinyi charimi ngoro nyambo waringi patogo ngola kalipa nyano nyanyi mano wagame mano poda nyanyi milyapinyi mano pano kari yapa pato ngoro kari waringi pato ngoro nyambula koja kanalo nyinami Kapunalo nyara tangango chuko manu nyanyi chalango wanu pato workene pato mano nyurui wanu pato mano chalango wangaro pato nganimba nalo Yanuno Warlpiri pato ngoro nyambo kora nyanjako mano wanganjako. Now I'm going to do it in English. We would like to begin by acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land on which we meet today, the Warlpiri people, and pay our respect to our elders past, present, and emerging, as well as everyone here today. We want to begin by talking a minute silence and respect those that we have lost and to respect our elders. And now we would like to introduce ourselves around the table. My name is Glenda Wayne. I have been a researcher for 6 years now. I've worked with the 2 projects, Measurement of Good Life and the YWPP. Hello, my name is Elizabeth Spencer. I've been working with this project, YWPP, for nearly 2 years now. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Sharon Anderson, and I've been on the Warlpiri Education Training Trust since 2007. Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Yeah, I've been working with YWPP and Good Life Project for nearly 3.5 years now. My name is warririnin-jaku.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Barnes, I'm also known as Waba. I'm a leader, I'm an elder in my community. And I've been involved with this research at least now. And I'm enjoying it. Pleased to meet you all.
Hi everyone, my name's Asia. I work at the Central Land Council with the Warlpiri Education and Training Trust. And I've been in the role for about 7 years now. I'm very fortunate to work with both the committees on WET's governance and now also this new research team, which has emerged through WET's work. Nice to meet you all.
And carrying the laptop around, I'm Jamie Gorman. As Kira said, I'm WET's monitoring, evaluation and learning coordinator. So my role is to support this team of community researchers and work with the WET Advisory Committee. And we have Sharon here from the committee.
Yeah, we in the Northern Territory and in Australia. And we work with 4 Warlpiri communities and with the Warlpiri Education and Training Trust representatives. We represent 4 Warlpiri communities: Lajamano, Yitaki-maninjaku, and Vilera. We work both ways. Our indigenous people, we call ourselves Yapa, and non-English speakers, or non-indigenous, we call them Kadia. And as Yapa and Kadia, we work together.
This is a video about the Warlpiri Education and Training Trust. Is in the Tanamite Desert in the Northern Territory. We know what is best for our people and university come from land wise to support our families and community. Oh, I get that. That's where one of more. They're not know the shit. Maybe some not to let across to other people and then maybe you'll get something negative, you know?
There's 4 water communities. Like one for everyone and everything. The programs. We look at the community. 4 water communities. 4 communities of one another. For Larry Tillers and for Larry Tillers. Granite Span, you want grant, they came and talked to us about what the public and we gonna be using in education. This money is our money, our Warlpiri money. We are happy to use our own money from our mind.
You are with the invested 57 million dollars into the communities. Learning about our culture, our Juba, going out country fishing. Also supporting our young ones going out in the States, for instance. The young ones in our community, huh? And they're learning from us. That's what they want to keep the people that are on with for a long time. To teach them to learn. Sharing ideas with what we do, what we do, stronger and stronger every time, from time to time. I'm the one who teach them everything. Some of our whole people are working and so much fast, you know. They're interesting time. First people around the world that working with us, the food and the eggs. They're working time. In this meeting, working with one another, one people, because we want to keep our culture and knowledge and everything strong in our country. Yeah. We want to keep it strong for our children, for the future too, and we want to keep our language strong. I'm really proud to be one of the researchers. You can jump along with the elders, take us out and young kids sometimes. They have school elders that teach the young kids. It was good to join us all. Learn from them as well. One day you know that. So if you go, it's important to learn, and education is the key. New education is the key, and to keep our culture, language, and I to work as strong, we need our kids, you know, to have the better future, better education. And now I'm gonna talk about the word fishing. Fishing is for our children to be strong in their knowledge of culture, country, and language, to be a strong role models for future generations, and to stand up for our communities. Our language, culture, and decisions will be respected. Our voice will be heard. We will have the same opportunity as everyone else. Our children will be confident, knowledgeable, disciplined, healthy, and respected. They will have a good roles and jobs as well as generations to come. That's the word vision.
The WED program has invested over 57 million across 5 program areas. Number 1 is secondary school support. 2, children and families, supporting children and families, language and culture into schools, community learning centers, and youth development program.
There are three partners in this work. Warlpiri Education Training Trust. These are the three partners that we work with: the Warlpiri Education Training Trust, Central Land Council, and the Latrobe University. Yitaki-maninjaku, warririnin-jaku, payirninjaku, manu pina-jarrinjaku. Tracking, searching, asking, and we learn. Wet knows where it wants to go, but out to Yapa knows if wet and its programs are getting there. Tracking and learning is looking for signs and information along the way to see if we are on the right track or needs to change directions. This is the wet map. It talks about vision. And in the middle, it's like a cone. First one is means strong decision making. Maraninjaku pitiri, nyayani mija pinjak mano pina-jarrinjaku yapa warririnin-jaku. Good quality education and training. Yellow one is mucho warririnin-jaku yapa kulo mano kareyakalo. Panokolo. Respectful relationship working with Yapa non-Indigenous people. And in the middle is a vision, Yapa payirninjaku, making Yapa strong. This map was designed by Wet Advisory Committee as a mentoring, evaluation, and learning framework. It helps us to make strong decisions as Yapa by paying attention to each of these areas. The wet map was developed after the recommendation from the 2017 review of WET. Tested WET should evaluation of its program. To develop the map, we work with Latrobe University, who ran a workshop with WET Advisory Committee and Kura Aboriginal Corporation, who are the trustees for WET. WET map is an important tool guiding the work of the WET. WET community research principles. First one is support informed Yapa decision making. Focus on Yapa voice, ideas, and feedback. Yapa and Karia, learning together along the way. Clear information and open communication with project partners. Yapa employment and training. Talk to and listen to young people. Explain our community research principles. Training and developing that interview questions. Each year, the WET advisory sets our research focus. We do training and develop our interview questions together. We meet in one of the four Warlpiri communities or in Alice Springs for training or to plan questions, translate them into Warlpiri dialects. Encourage new researchers, especially young ones, practice using iPads and doing interviews. Talk about our protocols. That's YWPP Korowari. How we collect stories. Yapa, collecting stories from Yapa. Ask family members first. Collect stories in a safe and comfortable place for yappers who are interviewed, like at push while cooking kangaroos or in the community, or one-on-one interview, or a group interviews. We start by explaining consents. If you share your stories, it's confidential. The persons can say no or can decide to have their story written down. If they are not comfortable with recording. And these are our YWPP researchers team. Kurowari is the rules. Kurowari protocols. Number one is when a person is willing and able to come to work. Kurowari, we follow the Warlpiri cultural protocols, including respect and remembrance, welcome new Yapa and Guardian staffs. Guardian means happy, to be happy at the work area. Raranva means opening feeling to work at the work area. And Manyukara means when they're having fun and jokes and enjoying it, workplace and energetics and active. Wungawanu means a colleague or a partner in the work area, not a company. And Maperele and Kindanga means we have to work together. Wangame means when we're talking. And Manganyanyi is when we're thinking. And Payini is when we are asking. Puranyanga is to listen and to listen. Hiriri means we have to work carefully and maybe read the pages with slowly and carefully. And pina-jarrinjaku means that we are learning or learn. Yeah, thank you. That's for our protocols, rules. Making sense of what we hear. We reflect on the story that we collect in sense-making sessions and collect what we hear to the web map. We collect all the stories and put them in the circle on the web map. Reflect on stories in a sense-making sessions and put them on a web map. We listen to the recordings and transcript, the stories. We use the web map to track stories from Yapa and 4 Warlpiri community.
Yeah, share with the community. We share the stories with the community at a feedback, barbecue or lunch. At these feedback sessions, we introduce ourselves and the work we're doing. We share the stories that we heard we tell the community, this is your story. And we get their ideas for what they want to do about it.
Feedback to the Wet Advisory Committee. Wet Advisory Committee meetings happen 3 times in a year in Alice Springs. The Wet Advisory is made up of 16 Warlpiri experts in education and youth development, like teachers, learning center workers, and early childhood workers. We bring the stories to the Wet Advisory Committee meetings, and they use the stories to help them make decisions. Researchers share what communities they have been in and what they have heard. We use the stories to see what changes are needed.
How the Wet Advisory Committee uses the feedback. When Wet gets the feedback and recommendations from the researchers, the Wet Advisory Committee thinks about where to go from here. Wet decide which recommendations to work on to make programs stronger. Wet map and the research also makes us feel strong and confident to share our story with government and stakeholders, other communities, and attend conferences in places like Melbourne.
So that's the end of our presentation, everybody. We'd like to now, hear a little bit from everybody here, and I think we're curious to know why all of you are involved in research as well, and some of the stories you have about the research work you do. And we're also happy to answer any questions that you have too.
Thank you so much, everybody, for the beautiful presentation, the beautiful slideshow, and all of the stories you shared with us about the research that you're doing. It's a privilege to listen and to hear about the work that you're doing, and so clearly embedded in the principles and practices of community development. The collective analysis, the collective action that you take from the work that you're doing, the emphasis on participation and creating the space for community members to take up power and participate in the process and make change. So thank you everyone for your time and for the careful and considered and the pace of telling us the story of the research. So we'd like to open the floor to hear from other colleagues in the room. If you have a question, maybe you could raise your hand or a comment or anything you'd like to share and speak up in the space. Of course, also feel free to put some messages in the chat if you'd like to do that. Sarah.
Thank you very, very much for a really excellent and fascinating account. It's intriguing. There's so much I guess we could ask you. And I was wondering if you had examples of ways in which your research had influenced good decisions by the advisory group. So I suppose it's about asking about the impact and how it might have changed life in your communities that built on what you've been doing.
Well, every 3 years we have election, and we elect 4 people from each Warlpiri communities. And the person that we look at is those who've been working in the education areas and are really passionate about kids.
they're asking the information from the YWPP. How does that help them make decisions in the way from the opinions when you get feedback?
When we get feedback, we sit down with them and we look what areas we looking into, you know, what recommendations they make for us, then we work together with them. We have a workshop, we sit down together and we plan out what's next.
We've been asked to do the research on the boarding schools, where all our kids go in the States to boarding schools. So they asked us to go and do research on those kids that have left school from boarding school, or those who have completed year 12. We wanted to know what they do, what they're aiming, or which job they are aiming to do when they finish school. And that's what we collected stories on which area they wanted to. Maybe some of these kids said they wanted to work when they're leaving school, to a work experience in the community, whichever job they are aiming to get and get trained for. In those areas that with advisory, that's when they come in to have a look to see what support they can give. Pathways to job, some of them they do pathways to job, what job they're aiming to get. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Anna, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Kira, and thank you, everybody, for such an interesting and insightful presentation. I had lots of questions, and each time you changed the slide, you answered the question that had come into my mind. But I did have one that I wanted to ask about how you talked about sense making of the stories that you gathered. And I'm interested to know, because stories are so different for each person, people's experiences are so different, and gathering stories is a very personal experience that people are sharing. So I was interested, and my question is, how did you make sense of the different stories? What was your process for making sense of all of those different stories so that you could draw out common themes to present back? Thank you.
When we do the interviews in the community, we do the recording as well. So we take back what is recorded in the community, we take it back to the office, and we do transcribe. That's when we find out, especially we collect the main areas of what people give us. Then we put them in the web map where it goes related to the story. The person is interviewed about education. We put it under quality education. And when we working together with Yapa and Carrier, we put that in the wet map with respect and relationship. And that's how we build a really good sense making. Yeah, really good story, and we just put it in the strong decisions. Yeah, related. How it's related to those circles. Yeah, I don't know, when we get the interview done, we listen to that person who's being interviewed, and we just separate the area that person who's been interviewed, like to quality education and respectful relationship. Another one was Nyangadu. Yeah, but decision making, and we're trying to make it more stronger. We put it to the middle, to the vision, to the middle area. And that's how we get good results after when we do the interview. And it transcribe with the community people, and yeah, that's what we do. We collect stories.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Harley, I think you had your hand up also.
I did, but Sarah and Anna both covered both of my questions, which is just about how you guys, really tell your story in the process, and then also just around that secondary school support and education for the young ones as well. Just because, like Fiona, who's also in the room, and I do some monitoring and evaluation on youth justice down in Tasmania, and just learning about communities there. So I was just very interested about what you guys do with the young ones. So thank you for answering them, and thank you for asking the questions, Anna and Sarah.
Thanks, thanks, Harley. We have some comments also in the chat. One from Ritu, which is that was a fabulous presentation. And Norbert said he loved the pictorial work presented. And from Ali, very impressive presentation. And Ali is from Nigeria, studying community development. And also from Sue Kenny, and Sue says, thanks so much from the presentation. We have much to learn.
Yeah, I think Jim has his hand up in real life.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
In real life. Oh, sorry, Jim. I can't see you. You're welcome.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Thanks very much for a wonderful presentation, and learned a lot. I wonder if it's possible to identify other forces are at work in these localities, perhaps extracting resources from them that don't necessarily benefit the people who live there. What are the other forces that, or are there other forces at work that you're having to counter in that situation?
Now, what makes it hard in communities? What are the other things? What are the struggles?
One of the struggles in the community is when people leave the community and live in town or city. Sorry. And when there's sorry in the community, when we're losing family in the communities, that's another struggle, and people going out to live in cities and towns and not coming back to the communities.
That like schools, the policies that come into the school.
And when they change the policies of education centers.
Hello? Yeah, some of the major problems we face in the being Aboriginal in Northern Territory and Australia, some of our governments, they make rules that are racist rules. And one of them is the intervention, where they took away all our rights and they took away our local decision making, our local councils. They took that away. And the ND government we've also always struggled with the bilingual education. You know, we're lucky in the Warlpiri Nation because we have had some very good, strong leaders in the past who have taught a lot of the young people and elders. But in some parts of Australia, they're not lucky. The government still put us down, take away our rights, whether it's teaching our language in schools. Yes. So I think it's not still good for us here in Australia.
Thank you so much. Are there any more questions in the room?
Thanks, Cara. I've got one. It's Fiona here.
Fiona?
I really want to know what made you happy while you were doing this work. I do a lot of research myself, and I've just been in a space today doing research with families and children, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, but it was so rewarding. And I'd like to know what makes you happy about what you've been doing, please.
We work together. We find it easy because we travel in the whole four Warlpiri communities. And it's how we make it easy is because we speak one language, Warlpiri. And we all share ideas and agree to what we want to do in the communities. And we know each other from all four Warlpiri communities. Then we speak, like as we first become a researcher, we started by talking to our own family first, then families, friends, so on. That's how we grew this project.
Thanks.
How do you feel about it?
Another thing we like about our job is when we're traveling our bush in the desert, we connect with our land, grandfather's land, grandmother's land, songline. We connect back to the country, back to the bush, and we love it.
That's good.
Thank you.
I love that. I hope you have some fun too.
Yes.
And as we get all the new researchers, we teach them on the way, along the way as well. Also, we record our elders, and that's how we know our culture, keep us culture strong. Yeah. We have recorded cultural protocols and everything like that, Chocoba, land and country.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fiona. That was a great question, and thanks to everyone for the beautiful response there. We have a couple of more questions. One from John Cornwell.
Yeah, hi everybody, and thank you for that. That was fantastic. I was asking about challenges. I think you already answered some of that. I'd like to know what advice have you got for projects anywhere in the world? What can we learn from you?
Thanks, John. That's another great question. Many parts of the world are trying to do work like this, and we'd love to learn from you.
One piece of advice, one good idea. Sharing ideas? I know.
From the YWPP work, what's one piece of advice you want to give? Advice.
We work together, We invite, we hold together as with wet advisory. That's how we learn together. And along the way, we collect more researchers. And we teach them what we do, how we do our research. And when we working together, Yapa and Karia, we give knowledge to each other. They learn our culture and they give us really good experience that we can learn more. And we already got an education that we need someone just to give us more education, and that's how we build our confidence. We've been working with Jamie, and it's good that we share information together, like Yapa and Karia. Like we taught him how we do Yapa way, our way, and he taught us to do his way.
What is the question here?
A piece of advice or an idea.
Always talk to you. We always ask elders if they have the knowledge. There's not many elders left who lived in the bush anymore. They are the library for us. They are like the encyclopedia. They have the songline, the stories, the knowledge. Yeah. And that's good that we are sharing with their knowledge to the younger generation. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Yeah, wonderful advice.
Thanks, John. Great question, and thanks everyone for the really insightful responses, really tangible, concrete pieces we could take with us into our own work and our own practice. We have a hand from Jean. Jean, you're welcome.
Hi everyone, thanks Kira. I thank you so much for the presentation. I'm just learning with absolutely everything you say, and I'm really conscious of being an audience in Scotland to your work there, and I'm just learning so much from you. My question is, do you have any hopes from presenting to so many of us around the world your work? Do you have any hopes or any impact from your sharing?
We sometimes get together. Some researchers that we go to in the States. That's how we share information, like as we gather with all the researchers from all over the world. We sometimes meet them when we go out to the in the States, and we get ideas from them. They get ideas from us. It's really good to share these information. And that's what we do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jean, and thanks everyone. Would anyone else like to say something? Okay, well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Go ahead,
Thank you very
Jamie.
much to everybody, you too, for the chance to share our story as the YWPP team, West Community Research Team.
Thank you. Gonna share with everyone.
Thank you very much to all of you for sharing such powerful insights and for really grounding the session in your community knowledge and your experience as community researchers, and for supporting us to learn from you. And thank you also to everyone who joined this morning, for listening, for learning with us together, for reflecting on these really important lessons from research. And I hope we can all take what we learned today and put it into practice in our work in some way, and honour the knowledge that has been shared with us this morning in our own research practice and our own community development practice for a more just and equal world. And I hope to see many of you again another time at another of our seminars. So these happen quarterly. Typically it's every 3 months. So this is September, likely January, April, and again in June. And we hope to see people in this room and many of you online around the world, and to share more conversations about our research practice as community development workers and researchers for equality, social justice, and a better world for everyone. So thanks very much for joining, whatever time zone you're in. Have a lovely evening, have a lovely day, and see you all again soon, I hope.
Bye.